You're listening to Footscray Live.
Welcome everyone, broadcasting live from Footscray City College. You're listening to Footscray Live. My name is Isaac Johns, and with me on my panel today, I have Grania and Marley. This is the local beats show, and our special guests today are Archie and Alex from our local band Franco Cozzo. Hi guys, thanks for coming to the show.
No worries.
No problem.
Thanks
Thank
for
you
having us.
I think it'd be nice to start off by asking about the band. What inspired the name Franco Cozzo?
So we are named after a furniture store in downtown Footscray.
Mm-hmm.
And we basically chose that because we wanted a name that reflected where we were from and
Yeah.
what we stood for, what values we stood for. So yeah.
So how long has the band been running?
Almost 5 years.
Yeah.
5 years.
In February, it'll be 5 years.
Yeah, cool. And what year at Footscray? Because you guys started at Footscray City College. What
Yeah.
year level did you guys start playing together?
Year 9.
Yeah, we
Year
met
nine.
in year 9
Yeah.
when
Cool.
Alex arrived
Yeah,
at school.
I moved over from
Yeah.
a different school
Mhm.
and fell straight into it. I felt it was great.
Yeah. How would you describe your music?
That's a difficult question.
Yeah.
I don't know, really. How would you describe it? It's just sort of we mix and match. We take inspiration from a lot of different sort of areas. So yeah.
Yeah, I think because each of us were individually, we're all quite different in the
Mhm.
in terms of what we listen to, and
Yeah.
so that sense of, or that the individualism, we can all kind of bring it together, and it just kind of it meshes well together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's that.
Yeah.
So what venues do you play?
Anywhere that will let us play.
Do you book them and then
Yeah, so we have
Yeah.
we have a management team, and
Okay.
they will book headline slots for us, and then other bands often will reach out to us via social media and stuff
Okay.
if they have a show that they want us to play on. So
Yeah.
Grania here. What's your ultimate music dream? What's your ultimate goal?
just to be able to play music and not have to worry about anything else really, and hopefully change people's lives and make the world a better place in the process of doing it.
Yeah, we're trying to it's not necessarily about spreading a message, but it's if we can do it through our music, then we will. So a lot of our stuff can be quite political. We do have we've got a lot of songs, especially that are coming out quite soon. That we've written to spread a message about something going on. You were saying, you were talking about before, and with the last with Tim Watts, you're talking about the climate change, and one or two of the songs are about that focus as well, and it's not necessarily about being the voice of a generation, but it's nice to be able to represent youth as well.
I think climate change is probably the biggest shared issue of youth around the world at the moment. So it's quite important, I think, that we can use what little platform we have to sort of speak about that.
Yeah. Well, have you guys always wanted to be musicians? Were you planning on having it as a dream job, only that, or have you guys thought about other career paths in the past?
I mean, it's pretty important to think about other career paths, I think, because it's a bit of a pipe dream to be able to make money out of music, really. So I have, but yeah, music would be the ultimate
Yeah,
dream job for me, I think.
Music's been the dream, pretty much. I mean, I wanted to be a soccer player when I was younger. It didn't really work out.
And what about you, Archie? Did you have any other ideas of what you'd want to be?
Yeah, I mean, throughout school, I think my dream job changed pretty much every 6 months.
Yeah.
So, yeah, went from being a lawyer, and then I did work experience at a law firm and really didn't like that. So that went out the window, and then, just changes.
Well, it's good with the work experience.
Yeah, well,
getting
that's
a
right.
taste of what everything is.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's Marley here. What do you think about singing TV shows, and sort of the talent ones, The Voice and Australia's Got Talent and The X Factor and stuff?
I think it's a good opportunity, I guess, to perform, but to perform, or I feel like it's also just it's like an easy gateway really to try and become famous. And
Yeah.
for us, we've had the I love the way that Franco has been developing. We haven't gone on to all these radio shows or not radio shows. Sorry, we haven't gone on any talent shows or anything like
Yeah.
that before, and the process that we've gone through is something to actually, we can talk about it in the future. We can say, oh, I remember, when we started, and, yada, 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 and it goes on. And so far we've got almost 5 years of history, so we have
Yeah.
that to talk about.
Would you ever consider going on them, or is it just too foreign at this stage?
Probably not for me.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to promote yourself any way that you can. So I think if the opportunity arose, but I just think it would be unlikely
yeah.
that they would want us to go on one of those shows.
Yeah, I did read one of their contracts online, and I wasn't keen at all. I was actually very uncomfortable about it.
What
So
kind of things did it state?
you're pretty much selling your name.
Yeah.
And so
To
if you
them?
so if you write an original song and you play it on like the X Factor or something like that, they own not only that, but they own the song.
Yeah.
Sorry, not only the song, but they own your act pretty much, and for a couple
okay.
of years, which means necessarily. I mean, you'd still probably get royalties and things from
Yeah.
that music.
But
Yeah.
it's not the same.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's not your song anymore. It belongs to them.
Yeah.
At Footscray City College, we have a fantastic music program. How did
We do.
our music program influence and nurture not only your passion but your skills, and how the band sort of flourished in a musical sense?
Oh, for me, it had a massive impact. Just the sort of ability to be able to book a room at lunchtime and just go there and try out new ideas. We used to just meet us two, and our bass player and guitarist used to just meet in the music rooms pretty much every lunchtime and just create new songs. And so that was great, and the teachers as well were just fantastic. So yeah.
I'm going to assume that you guys write all of your own music. Am I correct? Yeah. So, how do you come up with your ideas for the music?
Well, actually, I think you can start this off.
Well, most songs start with guitar, so myself and Sam, the other guitarist, will get together and sort of pitch a few ideas to each other and riff off each other a bit, and then once we create a sort of structure for the song, we'll bring in Alex and Maseta, our bass player, and then drums are usually last, just layers like that.
Yeah, and we also, when we meet up as well, we have been recently trying to co-write, so have all of us writing the songs or the lyrics together. And we've got one song on the way, which it's called 3011. And that was the first song where we all sat down together, we thought about the lyrics, thought about harmonies, and it was a great opportunity, and it was a really nice feeling as well.
Yeah. Just created something that really felt like it was for all of us.
So do you guys start with the lyrics and then do the music, or vice versa generally, or do you just do whatever flows?
I mean, I'm usually writing pretty much most days, and so I'll play something on my own guitar at home, and I'll write something for it, and then it might sound better with something that Arch and Shark write as well. So yeah, that's pretty much it. It's random usually, it just kind of happens.
No set process, just pretty spontaneous.
We're about to listen to Flower Tea. Would you guys like to talk about what that song means to you and how that kind of came into development?
Flower Tea is, I think, one of the songs that really kind of got our name out there a bit more. It's the song that people listen to the most on our socials, and it was a really it was just an awesome song, and
Yeah.
it's still a great song.
If you do say so yourself.
Yeah.
It's got a pretty special meaning for you. doesn't
Yeah.
it?
So I wrote it. I started writing it a year before we got into producing it, and I wrote it about a friend of mine whose mother passed away, and
Yeah.
the situation was pretty rough.
Yeah.
I won't go into it. It's probably not appropriate, but yeah. So pretty much that's the story. And originally I was just gonna call it Waterboy, and I was playing piano for it, and eventually I hear this great riff from two very, very talented musicians, and it just kind of all fell together, and it was incredible. It was actually a very fun song to write.
Cool. Well, so you're listening to Footscray Live at the local Beats show with Franco Cozzo. Let's go to Flower Tea by Franco Cozzo. Thank you very much for listening.
Let me tell you about the other day. I went swimming in the rain under the waterfall. I met the water boy. I asked him where he got his name. Walking from the mountain range, said, where there's water, there is home. Where there's hope, that's where I'll be. That's what my mother said to me. That's what I believe. The sun on your back and the wind in your hair, and all of this somehow is as empty as the air. One day at a time in the backseat of a car, smoke stings my eyes like a call from afar. Couple of days ago, or 5 years from now, I'll meet the water boy again somehow. He said his mother should be home. Minutes turned to hours into days alone. When I looked into the distance of his eyes, I saw the little light shining into mine. Never felt like this before. Never felt so free from war. The water boy can't be found no more. Sun on your back and the wind in your hair. That hand that he held was as empty as the air. One day at a time in the backseat of the car, and the smoke stings my eyes like a call from afar. Couple of weeks ago, or 5 years from now, I'll find the water boy again somehow.
That was Flower Tea from Franco Cozzo. You're listening to the local Beats show on Footscray Live, and our special guest is Archie and Alex from Franco Cozzo. Welcome back, guys. Let's just ask, we briefly spoke earlier about the title of the band, Franco Cozzo. You mentioned it was named after a furniture store. What's the significance in that? Was it a bit of a joke at the start, or did you guys have a relative that worked there? How did that all come into play?
We used to practice at our drummer's house, which was right around the corner from the shop, and it's just down the road from Footscray Station as well. So we'd spend a fair bit of time walking past it, and it sort of reminds me a bit of the Willy Wonka chocolate factory. It's like no one goes in, no one comes out. So it's just got a bit of intrigue about it, and I don't know if you guys are familiar with the TV ads of Franco Cozzo, but
Yes.
yeah, they're pretty amusing. So
Yeah.
it was a bit of a joke, but also we just really wanted something that would identify us with this area, because we have grown up, we've spent all our lives here, and we just love it so much for its diversity. And
We had a working title too. We were called Lucky at first, and this was before we did our first show. And I'm not gonna lie. At first, when I heard when Archie suggested Franco Cozzo, I was like, "What, you mean that old furniture store?" Because I'm not from Footscray. I was born in Oakley, and I lived in Altona Meadows and all that. So I wasn't very familiar with Footscray at all, or that resemblance or the relevance of that building. And after the couple of years, I've just fallen in love with Footscray, and the name is I love the name now. I
at
absolutely
the start,
love
he
it.
was like, "Well, you may as well call it Harvey Norman or Dick Smith." So, but no, Franco Cozzo is special.
Yeah.
So it's Marley here. At the start of some of your music videos, you have some very clever writing, sort of speeches that are hilarious. How do you come up with those ideas?
It's just pretty spontaneous. Like, Maseta made that video for his Year 12 media project when he was still at school here, and I don't really know where that came from. Couldn't tell you, to be honest. He's a bit of an enigma. He's a creative being. I don't know what goes on in his brain sometimes.
Yeah. Well, and that's probably really good when it comes to a music sense as well.
Yeah, it's great.
Well,
yeah.
So we've talked about your music, but how it affects I suppose, society a bit with the whole climate change and the political messages. But how did the band get influenced? What sort of artists inspired you?
It's changed over the years, definitely. We started off as a Strokes cover band, and then as you get older, you experience more music. You start to take different parts from everywhere. So I don't know what we could say that our genre is like.
Yeah, it's we just listen to new music all the time, and then when we like something, we try and incorporate elements of that sound into our own songwriting. So, for example, like I am really into jazz music because I play. My first instrument was saxophone.
Yeah.
So I can bring that. That's a bit of a point of difference. And then Hugo, our drummer, is really into hip hop. So he brings that to the table as well. And Sam and I studied African music at uni this year, and that was really fun. So we try and incorporate a bit of that as well.
So would you guys categorize, or do you feel like you'd be able to fit Franco Cozzo into a specific genre of some description?
Well, we fall under the indie category, but because we do have a name for our genre.
Yeah.
Which is junk gaze.
Okay.
It's junk, so
jazz
funk.
Shoegaze.
Yeah. Fusion of jazz and funk.
Yeah.
So obviously you guys were started off in Footscray City College as young students, and you've reached a fair point in your music career. What would your advice be for other musicians and other bands that are just starting off, maybe even at Footscray, that really want to try and get their music out there?
I would say first, just don't care what anyone thinks of you, and don't really pay much attention to what you sound like at first, because you will 100% get a lot better if you just stick at it and
Yeah.
keep
Yeah.
going.
It's for me. I reckon it's just be patient.
Yeah.
You're not gonna, you're not gonna be world renowned
In a day.
the first
Yeah.
week of you starting up. It does take time, and you need to develop your sound and just kind of have something to have a drive. Like, why do you want to do this? Is this your dream?
Yeah,
Is this what you've
definitely.
always wanted to do, or are you just doing it for the sake of doing it? There's and when I say that as well, I'm also it's not be patient is also just saying you don't have to know what you want to do when
Yeah,
you're a kid
Definitely.
and
Yeah.
when you're young.
You just enjoy it while
Yeah.
you can, and enjoy. For us, it's also a lot about just getting to spend time with each other, because we are the best of friends, all 5 of us, and we just get on so well. And so
Yeah.
it's a social thing for us as well.
Yeah, well, that's really good. And one final thing, if people listening hadn't heard your music before and they wanted to get in touch and listen to some of your stuff, where could they find it? Is it on Spotify? Have you got a Facebook page?
We're on pretty much every music streaming platform. We're on Apple Music, Spotify, Deezer, Amazon, I think.
Yeah.
So just check it out if you're interested, Franco
Cool.
Cozzo.
Yeah. Well, that brings our show to an end. Thank you for joining us, guys.
Yeah, no problem.
Thanks for
Uh,
having us. It's
yeah.
a pleasure.
That was Archie and Alex from Franco Cozzo. My name is Isaac Johns, and I'd like to thank my panel of members, Grania and Marley. This has been The Local Beats with Franco Cozzo on Footscray Live.
All the channels are open to you. Never again will you and I commune. I'm against the world again. It's too late for me to make amends. I wish to be a kid again. My troubles, I could solve them all. Hours and hours of playing pretend. I should have known I wrote the end. I wish to be a kid again. No obstacles too big or small. Hours and hours of playing pretend. I should have known I wrote the end. Together